don't know where it's going, but it looks good up here. The 3180s around here. It could have stopped here, but it just keeps going. So, watching for that signal. Alright, so as you can see, I didn't quite get this trade, and it was because I was focusing on the daily support and resistance. If this 31 pivot point was catalyzed by a daily resistance line, then I would have taken it. But because it didn't quite reach it, there's a higher chance of it actually touching 31, coming down just a little bit, and then blowing right through 31. So in order to increase my chances of success, I need to have a daily support resistance line, especially during these volatile times.
TPX.
It looks like a bounce from the bottom, doesn't it? Taking some. So right here, it kind of looks like it's going to go back up. That's what I was hoping for, at least, because of that really strong volume signal at my entry. But this goes really sour. This tries a second time up, and it didn't go, and it just went straight down. So this one was actually a really big loss for me. This is just one of those anomalies. Some things just don't work out right. And with GM, it had a lot to do with some news that was so bad that it just destroyed the technicals. I mean, technically this should have gone up, but it didn't. So I can't blame anybody but myself. Should have tried to get out as soon as I saw it start dipping down, but I a part of me believed that it may have touched the bottom before it goes back up, and it just didn't. 1408.
COF.
Okay. Forwarding is good. Oh.
UTX. COF. C.
take some here. Okay, you'll see in this one at a speed times 10 that this one is ridiculous, and it has a lot to do with the volatility, I think. I'm not used to seeing movement like this when this one obviously should go, and sometimes things don't go the way they are, but this one should have gone, and when it did, but it had to go through a lot of rough waters.
NNN. K.
Yeah, that was so tricky. So this one looks like it's going all well and fine, and frankly, I could have exited early on the 1 minute 9 EMA, but I knew that there's enough elasticity that it should go farther, and unfortunately, it gets pushed around by the SPY, what in which I call the wind, and it really almost pushed it way all the way back down to the bottom, but it wasn't done. So I kind of got lucky, kind of just walking through the storm, but some things just aren't worth learning. Just keep doing what we usually do.
TPX. HIG. QSR.
Okay, PNFP. This was one that I shared live streaming on Discord, and boy, I wish I didn't. This is probably the biggest accident that I've had streaming live ever. But as you can see, I see a 3 cent and right now a 10 cent spread. But later on, it gets bad. When I enter, this happens. So I enter at over 70 cents spread, and so I'm down $228 right off the bat. And then, even though I have a volume spike, it goes up just a little bit. I'm up for maybe $180, and then goes from negative $231 and straight down to $432. But luckily later on I get off stream and then I recover, and I believe I ended up only being down negative $6. But that was a big fluke, and luckily I had a second chance at it, and it still looked okay. It wasn't a revenge trade. It was just that it needed to come back up, but it was so difficult to read. This isn't something I would even bother if I knew. If I watched it long enough, and I would have known to avoid something like this. So this was for Wednesday. I'm not gonna I didn't show you all the clips because some of them just aren't worthy of watching, honestly. But I just want to show you guys how a counter trender can actually benefit from this kind of volatility. Nothing's really changed. I did add a few other parameters on my own, specifically the daily. I always use the daily resistance and support line. I always check the daily just to make sure that my counter has a little bit more catalyst to it, more validity, so to speak. But I hope this helps, guys. If you like what you see, subscribe, like, and click that notification bell. I plan on just continually vlogging. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. And I do intend to do a little review over TradeNet and what I think about it. And I'll tell you right now, I think it's okay. There are some pros and cons. The major con, I'll tell you right now, is the charting. The charting can really cause you to slip up. So I always use Thinkorswim as an addition to charting. And I'll also cover how I withdrew my first $1,000 just to show you that it can be done. It was a little tricky, so I may do a little bit more of a how-to, more or less. All right, take care, guys, and be sure to wash your hands, and let's try to be green tomorrow. Take care. Bye.